Good morning, it's Precious again. From our previous video, we had just discussed the introduction to standard costing and what it means, what it is, a decision-making tool, and that it's for control and that it's used by management accountants. Now, with all that in the background, I hope you've watched the video. You need to watch the video at least once, and then after that you need to be able to move on and watch the next video, which is this video, which is actually the working example. Guys, you'll see in your learning guide as well when I take you through the steps of how you get to a point where you actually exam ready. It says that you need to make sure that you understand the working example. Now, in this video, I'm just going to give an introduction to the working example and what you need to learn from it and what you need to do. And then in the next video, we'll be going through the actual working example. So I've also uploaded the working example in a separate folder as additional study material. It says working example. You'll see baby friend there. During recess, if you can just do me a huge favor, download that, go through it step by step, so that next week or the week after recess, when we go back and we go into more challenging concepts, you are very comfortable with the basic concepts. Baby friend Pty Ltd is the kind of example that cements all your basic understanding for standard costing. You need it to be able to move on to the more difficult concepts. So just make sure you go through it. Now, what we need to learn from this example, first of all, Baby Friend manufactures and sells rubber support chairs used for bathing newborn babies. You know those, usually they blue or white, those newborn bath tabs that you buy for baby showers, or you probably bath in one. I don't know. But those are the bath tabs that this company is making. So you are the management accountant. Already you know my role is as a management accountant. I definitely have to make decisions. I need to control production. I need to manage resources. You know what you are in this company for. So then they go further and tell you that part of your responsibility is to assist in terms management in terms of control over their planned performance, standard costing, control. I mean, the triggers are just being thrown at you here. They tell you they've compiled the budget assumptions for the coming financial year, which is ending May 2020. Now, if you look at how the budget is looking, this is what the budget is. They've given you all the cost that it takes for them to make the bath tap. What I need you to focus at is that the units that they've given you is 100,000 units. So you need to apply the 100,000 units to the selling price, to the material that is used, to that and that, for you to be able to do what is required of you. Now, the next thing that is required of you in terms of this example is for you to look at then the actual information, and you will see that the actual units are different. Now, already you know my budget is 100,000 units. My actual is 115,000 units. So this means that already you've got a difference in terms of your budgeted units and your actual units. There's a difference of 15,000. But before you get to understand what the impact of that is, I want you to do the following for me. I want you to go to the slides and make sure that you do what is required of you in terms of this. You don't have to look at the actual solution. You need to do the budget in terms of the 100,000 units, and then you need to do the actual, and then you need to look at the difference, and then we were going back into analyzing what it means. Now, just as an example, just to show you where the actual numbers come from, if you look at this, you will see that you've got your budgeted production is 100,000 units. They tell you that you will sell at 250 per units. Now, if you're doing sales already, if you're wondering where those numbers are coming from, it's going to be 100,000 multiplied by the 250 per unit. And this is the amount that will give you, this is the budget, right? So it will give you the 25 million. So these are easy calculations that I want you to go look at. If you look at your cost of sales, you'll note that, okay, I've got material. And in terms of my material, they tell me that it takes 2 kilograms for 1 unit, and I've got 100,000 units. And then it's 80 rand per kilogram. So then you can do the calculation there, and you'll see, okay, my material will cost me 16 million. And then you'll say, okay, I've also got labor, which is basically going to say My labor, they say it's 1.50 hours, and an hour is 30 rands, and I'm making 100,000 units in terms of my budget, and that will give me the 4.5. And then you will have variable overheads, and they've told you that it's actually 15 rand. So the price for the variable overhead is 15 rand, and it's based on the labor hours. So you still multiply by 1.50 times 100, and then it will give you the 225, right? Okay, and then you will have what you call your gross profit, which in our example is going to be your 2250, right? So that's how we got to the budgeted number. So I want you to go home, do the same exercise, do the exercise for the budget, and then do the exercise for the actual information. And then after that, you need to look at the two budgets, compare them, and then deal with the problem that is given to you. There is a problem that we actually need to solve. So this is the problem that you need to think about when you're doing this exercise. The problem is that the production manager overspent by 3.5 million on production in this financial year. So when you've done your actual and you've done your budget, you will see that the difference in terms of cost of sales is the 3.5 million. Now they tell you that he's overspent in terms of 3.5 million. Now his job is on the line. He might lose his job because of this. We need detailed answers from him to make sure we understand why he spent or why he overspent on every single component of your cost of sales. Now, what you need to think of for me is the above judgment fair? What can the financial director do to better compare the budget to the actual? And then after that, you need to be able to prepare a new budget based on your answer from the above question. Now, just as a hint, when we started, we said we budgeted to produce 100,000 units. We actually produced 115,000 units, right? So now there's already a difference of 15,000 units in terms of our production. Now, is it fair to fire the production manager based just on the fact that he has overspent with 3.5 million? Can we do more to make it a bit of a fair analysis in terms of his performance? What is it that we can do? Please go do step 1, 2, and 3, which is step 1 is do the budget. Step 2, do the actual. Step 3, do the comparison between the budget and the actual. And then step 4 is to look at this problem and to think to yourself, how can we solve this problem? Please do so before you watch the next video, because in the next video, I'll then be going into detail in terms of how we can solve the problem, what it means to us, and then adding more concepts to what we've already covered. So your task is you can either use the slides to look at what you need to do in terms of step 1, 2, 3, and 4, or you can download the baby friend example. Download the example. After downloading it, go through step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. And then you can watch the next video, because that's where I'm going to start from. It might seem like a very easy exercise. It should take you, 10-15 minutes. But I think it's a very, very valuable exercise. And from there, it will build the foundation for us to go deeper into this baby friend example. So please do that, and do not go into watching the next video without doing it. The next video will be loaded Wednesday night or Thursday morning, but I will definitely give a notification to say the video is now available. But only watch the video if you've watched the introduction and you've also done this first exercise, and then we can continue. Good luck. I hope you're following. If you're not following, please email me. Send me all your questions. Please email Dinero with all your questions. Remember that we're not physically available for consultation, but we are available online. You can email, you can WhatsApp, you can call. Please do reach us. Thank you.